Good day and welcome to the news. People buying guns to defend themselves will create more problems in Nigeria, lie Mohammed. Now, the news in details. In an interview with BBC Pidgin News, the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was asked about his thoughts on what the Zamfara state governor has advised his people to do to defend themselves by buying cutlasses and guns with the situation of the country. Lai Mohammed dismissed this idea. He revealed that this would create more problems in Nigeria. He asked the interviewer if he has the power to fight the bandits, and he got a no answer. Lai explained that what the Zamfara state governor should do is support the police and the army. He expatiated that the work of the governor is not limited to its own state, and taking control of security has to be his responsibility. Minister Lai Mohammed also substantiated that the security of Nigeria has to be a cooperative effort in which everyone joins hands together to create a safe state. He basically advised that the Zamfara state governor to do the needful by buying the security agencies guns and vehicles. So here we have the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, speaking on the statement made by the Zamfara state governor about residents of Zamfara state actually buying cutlasses and guns to defend themselves from the bandits and those terrorizing the nation. And Lai Mohammed dismissed this idea by saying that it would create more problems in Nigeria, and he went on to ask the interviewer if he has the power to fight the bandits, and the interviewer said no. Now, Lai explained that the Zamfara state governor, what the Zamfara state governor should actually do, it supports the police and the army. So when he says, do you have the power to fight bandits, I want to believe it's physical power he's talking about, not necessarily like is it lawful to actually fight these bandits. So at the end of the day, we are humans, people are humans, the bandits too are humans. I don't know if they carry charms, so maybe they are spiritually fortified. But then if someone points a gun at you and they are faster and shoots them, you've won against them and you've gotten the power. You are the one with the power. So actually coming to say if you have the power to fight the bandits, it's not a logical question in my opinion. So but I would love to hear from you, my listeners, what you think about that. And him going on to say that what the Zamfara state governor should actually do is support the police and the army. Now, the police and the army are actually at the federal level of government, and they're actually supported with taxpayers' money, and they should be funded by the federal government. So if the federal government isn't doing a good job in that aspect, then they are not capable of actually leading Nigeria. And Lai Mohammed having the boldness, the braveness to actually come out to actually be saying that state governors and state governments should actually fund the police and the army is one of the most stupid things that could come out from somebody like him. Because if you went to school, if you did followed up on your government or your social studies, on your civic education, you should know perfectly well that the police and the army is a federal thing. And they are funded by the federal government, and that is why we pay tax in this country, because that's where our money goes to. And instead of the federal government using it to do the needful, they're actually pocketing taxpayers' money and sending their children abroad and actually planning their retirement. That is why they don't have the money to actually fund the police and the army. So they should please tell us the truth, because we already know that is what is going on. So he's also saying that the work of the governor is not limited to its own state, and taking control of security has to be his responsibility. Yes, the work of the governor is not actually limited to its own state, but then most of his work is actually limited to its own state. Very few of the things he does is actually not limited to his own state, and security of his own state is his number one priority. And if the governor of Zamfara state feels like the federal government isn't doing well by providing and funding the police and the army, and he has decided that the best way for a state to be safe is by the residents actually buying cutlasses and their own guns, then he's actually looking out for the security of his own residents. And Lai Mohammed also went on to also say that the issue of security of Nigeria has to be a cooperative effort in which everyone joins hands together to create a safe state. Now, yes, it has to be a cooperative effort which every arm of government, every security of operative actually joins hands together to ensure the security of the country. But then when the federal government isn't doing anything about the terrorists that are terrorizing the country, about the Boko Haram, about the ISWAPs, about the Fulani herdsmen, about the bandits, about the unknown gunmen, then what more can the state government and the citizens or the local government do? Because the federal government isn't doing anything. They've not imprisoned these people. They've not set out a head hunt for them. Rather, they are busy negotiating every day with these people, which isn't supposed to be so. So it said that the Zamfara state governor should do the needful by buying these security agencies guns and vehicles, and this is what Akeredolu has been saying. The federal government doesn't have what it takes to actually fund the police and the army. They are not doing a good enough job, and that is why he has been pushing for state police for a very long time. And if there is state police and if there is state police in place, then the governors of each state is actually saddled with the responsibility of funding their own state police. And that way you have the state police, you have the federal police. So if the federal police isn't doing a good enough job, at least the state police will be doing a good enough job if the state governor is actually funding them properly. So you don't call upon state governors to actually buy guns and vehicles for security, operate for the police and the army, when it is the job of the federal government to do that. I mean, even the tax that the state collects, they still remit most of that taxes to the federal government. So if the state is remitting most of the taxes to the federal government, then what are they using the money to do? We don't have good roads. We don't have stable power supply. There are lots of problems. The structures aren't good. ASU is on strike. There are lots of problems. If you guys can't even fund the police and the army, then what are you using the taxpayers' money to actually do? This is just a lot of loopholes and a lot of questions to be answered by the federal government. So don't forget to tell me what you think and your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our news channel so you get updated anytime a post is made. That's it from us today, guys. Thank you and God bless.